let's get this thing down and make it real simple. I want you to visualize a tennis ball. It's somewhere close to 2 inches in diameter, a little oversized. I don't care about precision here now. All I'm seeking for here is a feeling for this. Can you see the tennis ball?
2 inches in what?
2 inches in diameter. Can you visualize a small bedroom? 8 feet cubic. Float the tennis ball in the small bedroom.
The tennis ball is the grand universe.
Yes. Now you're thinking of the 7 superuniverses and Havona in relation to the size of the first outer space level.
Grand universe.
We'll use this term tennis ball several times. Now, let's visualize a city block with 10 80-foot lots on it. These are comfortable building sites. It's a little less than 100-foot front footage. It's an 800-foot block with 10 comfortable houses on it. Now, make a cube out of this block and float our little bedroom in the cubic block. You've now got the first outer space level in relation to the second outer space level.
The block is the second.
The block is the second, right. A city block.
Yeah.
I gotta get things that we feel for, you know. I tried to think of what would be a 16-mile cube, and I decided we might cube the city of Chicago. You can't cube Los Angeles because it's almost bigger than North America.
Yeah.
But float our city block in cubic Chicago. And now you've got the second outer space level in relation to the third. Well, I kept reaching around what would symbolize the fourth. There isn't anything that works exactly. But the diameter of the moon is 2,100 miles. And what we need is something that's 3,200 miles. But the moon is the nearest object I can think of that's the right magnitude to float Chicago in. And now we've got the fourth outer space level. The moon is only 2/3 as big as it should be for the illustration. But it's a lot bigger than Chicago. Tennis ball, bedroom, city block, cubic city, in the moon.
Now that's easy.
Think about these bedrooms and things. We should be thinking of concentric donuts, shouldn't we? That's the way really to think about them. But I find it easier to use terms like cubic blocks and bedrooms and so on. Do you see why each finaliter company has got attached to it 1,000 gravity messengers?
No way. They go fast.
They go in standard.
Oh.
And when you're dealing with distances like this, you've got to have some pretty high velocity communication techniques. These distances are so great that a solitary messenger would take a while getting there. You know? And a poor seraphim who can only go 3 times the velocity of light. Well, it takes a seraphim 1/3 of 500,000 years to go from here to Uversa. That's a long trip. It takes light 500,000 years, and it takes a seraphim 1/3 of that length of time. Of course, a solitary messenger can get there pretty fast.
And does the gravity messenger go faster
Yeah,
than a solitary messenger?
sure. Gravity messenger uses gravity, and that moves in standard. I think they give the time it takes a thought adjuster to come from Divinington to take up residence in a human being on Urantia. It took about 11 minutes, which was spent in registration on Uversa. Thought adjusters traverse space independently of time.
They're the fastest.
They're as fast as gravity messengers. Gravity messengers are very much like thought adjusters. They're fragments of the universal Father. Let's just take a look at it. They're discussed in just one place in the papers in the connection with the core of the finality. Page 346. It says there's 1,000 of them attached to each finaliter company of 1,000, and the chief gravity messenger is a member of the finaliter company. It says no other group of intelligent creatures possesses such a personalized messenger core able to transcend time and space. Similar types of messenger recorders attached to other finaliter group cores are not personalized. They are absonatized. And don't ask me what that means. I don't know. Gravity messengers hail from Divinington, and they are modified and personalized adjusters. But no one of our Uversa group will undertake to explain the nature of one of these messengers. We know they are highly personal beings, divine, intelligent, and touching the understanding, but we do not comprehend their timeless technique of traversing space.
So they are personalized adjusters.
Yes, they are.
I didn't know that.
It says gravity messengers and glorified mortal finaliters achieving a touching and profound affection for one another. They have much in common. One is a direct personalization of a fragment of the universal Father. The other, a creature personality existent in the surviving immortal soul, fused with a fragment of the same universal Father, the thought adjuster.
Lord.
The reason I believe that we're going on and on and on is not because we're such a much, but adjusters are. I'm not so sure that we've got the legs to go this far, but we're riding a horse that's a fragment of infinity. I think we're going to go right on through, following the Michaels. The papers suggest that the Michaels are never going to stop the invasion of space. There's a wonderful statement here. See if I can find it. Wish me luck. 45. It's in their discussion of universal absolute unity. I'm starting a little below the middle of the page. And God the Father is the personal source of all manifestations of deity in reality, to all intelligent creatures and spirit beings throughout all the universe of universes, as personalities, now, or in the successive universe experiences of the eternal future. No matter if you achieve the attainment of God the sevenfold, comprehend God the supreme, find God the ultimate, or attempt to grasp the concept of God the absolute, you will discover to your eternal satisfaction that in the consummation of each adventure, you have on new experiential levels rediscovered the eternal God, the Paradise Father of all universe personalities. That's why I've left my firehouse on the Black Fork. It doesn't make any difference what floor we manage to achieve. The center pole is there, and that is the personality of the universal Father. And the only change that's taken place is in us. We now approach him with a quart-size comprehension instead of a pint-size, and later on with a gallon size. The universal Father is the explanation of universal unity, as it must be supremely, even ultimately realized in the post-ultimate unity of absolute values and meanings, unqualified reality. That's the third floor. Oh, I love this. Last two paragraphs. The master force organizers go out into space and mobilize its energies to become gravity responsive to the paradise pull of the universal Father. And subsequently there come the Creator sons, who organize these gravity-responding forces into inhabited universes, and therein evolve intelligent creatures who receive unto themselves the spirit of the Paradise Father, subsequently ascending to the Father to become like him in all possible divinity attributes. The ceaseless and expanding march of the Paradise creative forces through space seems to presage the ever-extending domain of the gravity grasp of the Universal Father and the never-ending multiplication of varied types of intelligent creatures who are able to love God and be loved by him, and who, by thus becoming God-knowing, may choose to be like him, may elect to attain paradise and find God. And that's just as true of outer spacers as it's true of us. Only, in outer space, we will be a part of the living ladder on which they will climb, just as the Havoners and Paradise personalities have made themselves into a living ladder for us to climb, from the status of an animal up to the portals of paradise. Well, fellow Argonauts, ology and cosmology out of it, this complicated book is the simplest religion ever presented to man.
That's right.
The boss man is your father and wants you. And if you want him, who the hell could keep you apart? There's nobody bigger than the boss.
Right. Great illustration, Bill.
And you require no intermediaries. He touches you twice. You're in the personality circuit because you have personality and free will choice, and a piece of him lives inside of you. Now that's terrifying and comforting at the same time. This complex religion is at the same time the simplest religion that's ever been presented on this world. Ability to comprehend is the mortal passport to paradise. Willingness to believe is the key to Havona. The acceptance of sonship, cooperation with the indwelling adjuster, is the price of evolutionary survival. Very simple. Just as much as the other citation I read you is very simple. You go adventuring. You encounter many new things. But at the heart of each adventure, you keep finding the same God, the same universal Father. Unchanging. Still loving. Only you have changed. You can understand more. Remember the great statement they make in these papers that God is the first truth and the last fact. To feel God is the first touch of divinity which a creature like us can have. But to understand God as a fact, that is at the end of eternity. We are developing capacity to explore the fragment of God within us, while we explore the creation of God on the outside, and then we take both experiences, and periodically I think we go back to paradise. And each time we find the same God, only we're a little higher up on the pole. Do you follow me? We think we have found more of God. He was always there. We just have more finding capacity. Come with me now, and we took a good look at the third universe age, the age of the first outer space level. Let's consider what lies in the remaining outer space levels. I think it's futile to try to separate them. But let's consider continuing growth as we proceed from the bedroom into the cubic block, the cubic city, and the moon. I would make this first observation. These outer space levels are not going to differ radically from each other, as the superuniverses differ radically from Havona, and as the completed master universe differs radically from the outer space levels. I think they represent enormous expansions. And let's consider what kind of expansions. First of all, I would suggest that the collaboration between the Spirit and the Supreme Being will continue. I think that sets the tone for all four of the outer space levels. As it was Father, Son in Havona, as it is Son, Spirit out here, it is Spirit Supreme out there. And that doesn't mean that the Father and the Son are inactive. The Universal Father is functioning right out here now, but not as a creator. He's a bestower of personality. He is a bestower of thought adjusters. He's a bestower of love. But he's delegated. He's not a selfish God, is he? As soon as someone can do the job, he lets them have at it, have fun with it. And don't you stop and think, if he didn't do that, there wouldn't be a job for any of us. There is no job that the Father couldn't do better or as well. I think that this continuation, I think there will be a continuation of Son-Spirit collaboration with a further differentiation of the molecules from space level to space level, from universe age to universe age, with a further differentiation of the creative spirits, with a further differentiation of their trinitized offspring, the third unknown member. I would submit number 3, there will be a further growth in Trinity collaboration, to wit, the Paradise Trinity of Father, Son, and Spirit, collaborating with the first experiential Trinity, composed of the Supreme Creators, the architects of the Master Universe, and the Supreme Being. This Trinity is known as the Trinity of Ultimacy. The Trinity Ultimate. And its final function and final success will contribute to the appearance of God the Ultimate. I've debated, why are there 4 outer space levels? Why not 2? Why not 10? There are 4.
I know it, but it just seems as if there ought to be 3 to me.
But there aren't. There are 4.
Or 7.
Or 7.
Maybe we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Well,
Or maybe this will be a little clearer later on, yes.
doesn't that make 7 altogether going up to the beginning?
No,
Or?
not unless you count Paradise,
Well,
and
that-
they say not to count it. It's
Oh.
not in space.
Oh.
There are 6 space levels. There are, well, the architects of the Master Universe are in 7 levels, but number 1 has to do with Paradise.
Maybe it is.
Well, let's kick around. On page 333, paragraph 1, it states, in part, eventuated transcendental beings, quote, are existent on 4 ultimate levels of personality activity. Is this why there are 4 outer space levels? And these 4 levels of ultimacy should not be confused with what they elsewhere refer to as the 7 levels of the Absolute. Consider also, what does this exponential factor of 7 mean? Of the 7 times 10 combinations. The architects of the outer space level are all expressive in 7 times 10. 7 to the first power in the first level, 7 to the second power in the second level, the third, and the fourth power. I get a queer feeling about this. I have difficulty putting it in words. But I put it this way. Does this exponential expansion, first, second, third, and fourth powers of 7, signify not only a quantitative increase, but also a qualitative penetration of the whole transcendental level? This hypothesis advances the thought that the post-supreme ages represent some kind of an exponential expanding march through ultimacy. The transcendental level really exhausts ultimacy. The best illustration I know of that is something, I wonder how symbolic this story is. When you add up all these architects, the sum total is 28,011 universe planners. I'm reading from on page 352, paragraph 3. 28,011. On Paradise, there is a tradition that far back in eternity there was attempted the eventuation of the 28,012th master architects. One more. But that this being failed to absolutize, experiencing personality seizure by the universal absolute. I think this story is highly symbolic. You know, we are now translating common stock into Bantu. It is possible that the ascending series of the master architects attained the limit of absolutity in the 28,011th architect, and that the 28,012th attempt encountered the mathematical presence of the absolute. In other words, at the 28,012th eventuation level, the quality of absolutity equivalated to the level of the universal and attained the value of the absolute. He woke up on the 3rd floor. You don't let him up there. In other words, at the 28,011th level, you're tight against the ceiling of the 2nd floor. Here's what this means to me, that when these architects have expressed all that God planned in them, you have completed the transcendental level of growth. Anything beyond that is post-absonite, super-transcendental.
That is,
I say, first of all, this is a triumph of the first experiential Trinity. They've been slugging it out on all post-supreme levels. The Paradise Trinity could have done the whole job in the beginning, couldn't they? But if they had done this, they would have produced an existential master universe. What we will wind up with is an experiential master universe. There'd be no room for us in an existential master universe. Neither would Havona natives ever have had a chance to grow in a post-Havona sense. And you'll recall, in each finality company, there is one Havona native. They're out there adventuring too. And they've got their own finality corps as well. The Paradise Trinity didn't do the job. They withdrew to permit the fullest possible function of a collaborating, experiential Trinity. This is the time of glory for the Supreme Creators, for the architects of the Master Universe, and for the Supreme Being. These are the several members of the first experiential Trinity. Second, the completed Master Universe will witness the tertiary completion of the Supreme Being. We're told that the Supreme Being has not only a spirit function in Avona and a power sovereignty function in the grand universe, but a tertiary mind function in the master universe. And whatever this unknown tertiary function is, it'll be completed then. It is the completion of this tertiary function of the Supreme that produces in him the capacity to function in a co-absolute way in the second experiential Trinity. For he is a member not only of the first, but also of the second experiential Trinity. And third, we have now got to the seventh level of total deity function on page 2 of the Urantia book.
Oh, that.
Event witnesses the emergence of God the Ultimate. God the Ultimate is functioning, but he doesn't emerge until the Master Universe is complete. Let's just compare for size. It takes the tennis ball to produce the Supreme Being. It takes the moon to produce the ultimate. Albeit the Supreme Being is continuing some form of mind growth in the process. This is how much greater the absonite is than the finite. 2 inches versus 3,200 miles. Just the size is staggering, isn't it? 99 and 99 1/100% of the Urantia book is the story of the tennis ball. There's very little in this book outside of the tennis ball. There's enough so that we can speculate. Comparatively speaking, the Supreme Being emerges rather quickly, in a matter of a few minutes on the eternity scale. Comparatively speaking, the 7 super-universes are achieving perfection in the twinkling of an eternal eye, when their period of growth is compared to the probable length of time involved in the growth of the entire Master Universe. The Master Universe is going to take a long time, even by Havona standards. There could evolve a new relationship on the deity level of ultimacy. We are now exploring the significance of this 7th item. And how in the devil could we appreciate this paragraph without going through all of this reasoning? This is implied in this paragraph. I can visualize a 3-way interaction taking place now. First of all, the Paradise Trinity is functioning on the ultimate level. It's spoken of as the Trinity of Ultimacy. When they speak of the Paradise Trinity functioning on the finite level, they speak of it as the Trinity of Supremacy. So we have a continuing function of the Paradise Trinity functioning as an ultimate. Secondly, we have the new appearing function of the second experiential Trinity. No, pardon me. We still have the function of the old first experiential Trinity, the Trinity Ultimate. And now we have God the Ultimate. This is an interaction of 3 deity realities filling the 7th level of total deity function. 5. I would suggest that the completion of the master universe might well witness the completion of the Spirit Supreme relationship, which started in the first outer space level and has progressed through all 4. And let's read this full quote now. That which began as Father-Son has become Son-Spirit and will become Spirit Supreme, even Supreme Ultimate and Ultimate Absolute. Some new relationships are suggested here, aren't they? This is a progression in divinity cooperation, all of which is a reflection of what the Universal Father and the Eternal Son did in the beginning of beginnings. They cooperated, they united, they started things off. Number 6, the completed Master Universe will witness the formation, the full functioning, the full beginnings of the second experiential Trinity. This is the Trinity of the Supreme, of the Ultimate, and of the unrevealed consummator of universe destiny. And you can't get the full appearance of this Trinity until you get the Ultimate. And you don't get the Ultimate until you complete the growth of the Master Universe. I wish you'd jump down to the last paragraph on page 2. The absolute level is beginningless, endless, timeless, and spaceless. This level is Trinity attained existentially by the Paradise deities, Father, Son, and Spirit. But this third level of unifying deity expression is not fully unified experientially. We've developed God the Supreme. We've developed God the Ultimate. We've derived 2 experiential trinities. And let's take another look at the Master Universe. All the way through our discussions these 3 days, time and time again, we've encountered this principle. An end is seldom an end. If you look closer, it may be a new beginning. And so, section 11 in my Master Universe hypothesis is captioned, "The Master Universe as the Final Nucleus." Let's go back to nucleus and cytoplasm again. This hypothesis presents the concept of the Master Universe as the third and final nuclear universe. We considered Avona as the first nucleus and the grand universe as the second nucleus. Now, is the Master Universe an end in and of itself, or is it a nucleus or a further cytoplasmic development in the space regions beyond the perimeter, the edge of the 4th outer space level? All right, now let's apply some tests. The following evidence in support of the theory that the Master Universe is not an end, that it is the third nucleus. Consider the following. First of all, the primary nucleus is Havana. We observe that its appearance is associated with the appearance of the Paradise Trinity. Before Havona, there could be no Trinity, because before Havona, there is no infinite spirit. And if there's no infinite spirit, there is no Trinity. The second nucleus, the completion of the grand universe, is also associated with the formation of another Trinity, the first experiential Trinity. We apparently now have established a principle. Whenever a Trinity forms, a nucleus has formed. The first experiential Trinity comes into being at the close of the grand universe age, because the Supreme Being comes into being at the close of the grand universe age. And now, the third and final nucleus. You don't form another Trinity at the close of the outer universe ages of the first space level, the second space level, or the third space level. But you do form the third and last Trinity at the close of the universe age of the fourth and outermost space level. It's at that time that God the Ultimate emerges. And when He appears, then we can form the second experiential Trinity. This suggests to me that the Master Universe is a nucleus. It fits the pattern that we've observed in the formation of the original nucleus, and the pattern which we deduce is now in process in the formation of the second nucleus. This hypothesis offers the theory that the formation of a Trinity is always associated with the formation of a nuclear universe, and that the appearance of a nuclear universe always suggests that there is an exterior cytoplasmic universe, at least in potential. Havona is the nucleus of the grand universe. The grand universe is the nucleus of the master universe. What is the master universe the nucleus of? This hypothesis submits that the master universe is the final nucleus, and that it sustains a nuclear relationship to the cosmos infinite. Well, let me buttress my hypothesis. 130. Incidentally, the term cosmos infinite is found in, at least it's used on page 1168, paragraph 3. If we assume a cosmos infinite, some illimitable cosmos on beyond the master universe. That's where I took the term. But the best discussion of this is paragraph 3 on page 130. The central universe is the creation of eternity. The 7 superuniverses are the creations of time. The 4 outer space levels are undoubtedly destined to evolve the ultimacy of creation. And there are those who maintain that the infinite can never attain full expression short of infinity, and therefore do they postulate an additional and unrevealed creation beyond the 4th and outermost space level, a possible ever-expanding, never-ending universe of infinity. In theory, we do not know how to limit either the infinity of the Creator or the potential infinity of creation. Space is not infinite, even though it takes origin from paradise. Not absolute, for it is pervaded by the unqualified absolute. We do not know the absolute limits of space. They say that space extends beyond the periphery of the 4th outer space level. But how far beyond They do not know. If our theory is right, then there is a seventh universe age. And this is a final universe age. This is an experiential, eternal age. We started out with an existential eternal age. We seem to be finishing up with an experiential eternal age. This final universe age has an origin in time, but it does not appear to have an end in time. The first universe age is the age of Havona. It has no origin in time. It has an end in time. As long as space is increasing in volume, as fast or faster than the expansion of the cosmos infinite, it follows that such a potentially infinite cosmos will never be limited by space. Such expanding space itself may well have boundaries at any given time and still be boundless in eternity. This thesis is submitted as the only one which can reconcile the statements in the papers concerning the outer boundaries of space with the speculation concerning a possible cosmos infinite. Infinity must perforce be limited as to any time expression, but how could infinity ever be limited in eternity? Sure, at any given moment in time, space has a limit, but only in time, because given a little more time, it's bigger. Given still more time, it's still bigger. Given endless time, its expansion is endless. I can't think of any other way of reconciling logically the very flat statement that space has an outer margin with the equally flat statement, we think there'll be a cosmos infinite. This is the one way I can put those two statements together and hook them up. There's another way of looking at it. What is the limit of paradise gravity? Well, it's unlimited, isn't it? But at any moment in time, there's only a limited amount of paradise gravity. That's determined by the mass of creation. But you get more mass, you get more gravity. So that in eternity, you have infinity of gravity pull. But at any moment in time, there's only just so much. Paradise had no gravity output at all in the hypothetical zero age. There was no mass. Hence, there was no active paradise gravity. But the instant a billion worlds appeared, gravity appeared sufficient to hold them swinging eternally in their orbits around paradise. We are nibbling at the edges of the difference between a time concept and an eternity concept. You and I are bound to meet, even though you go in 3 days and I sleep for 300,000 years. And you're long gone when I get to the mansion world. Because in eternity, if a thing is possible, it's bound to happen. Because the whole concept of chance depends on frequency. And frequency is a function of time. And in eternity, you have infinite happenings. You follow me? Mm-hmm. Our paths are bound to cross. Because we're outside of time now.
You couldn't possibly avoid me.
I can't duck you. It's a horrid thought.
Good.